Focus on outcomes, leverage your expertise, foster collaboration. Okay, 3 really core principles. I thought it might be interesting to just delve a little bit deeper into each of those. So I'm going to come to you first of all, focus on outcomes. So that was the first of our 3 core pillars. When we talk about focus on outcomes, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think when we talked about how sales was evolving and what the changes were, we talked about the big shift, if you like, in the 80s and 90s to consultative selling, and how that was so much focused on finding client pain points. But people hadn't necessarily taken a step before that and gone, what do you really know about your customer and your customer's business? What's your customer trying to achieve? We know that everybody in a role has KPIs, metrics, targets, ultimately that feed into the overall business objectives. And it seemed to me that that ought to be the starting point. The starting point ought to be really understanding what they are before we can then look at what are the things that they're not tracking in the way that they want to. What are the things that are getting in the way of achieving those goals? So the pain points come after the success criteria that the client is aiming to achieve. What are they measured by? What do they live and die by? What is not working as well as it should that's going to create that gap between where they're at now and where they need to be? And Steve, who came up with the idea that ultimately, how are we coaching our customer to make them realize they're maybe not where they need to be? And the gap starts to widen in their mind. And the wider we make that perception of the gap between the success criteria and the challenges they face, the more likely they are to do something about it.